When I started in investments, I had about $9,800. And the whole problem then was I had way more ideas than money. I mean, I was looking for things. I was going through all the Moody's manuals and digging up ideas and stocks, all kinds of things that were cheap. But I still only had $9,800. So I would buy something, and then I would find something that looked even cheaper or better, and I would have to sell the first thing to buy the second thing. That was my state for a long time. Now, in the late 1960s, I wound up my partnership because I couldn't find things, but that's because the whole market had gone crazy. And at that time, I was working with about $100 million in the partnership when I wound up the partnership. But $100 million wasn't an unmanageable amount of money. It's just that the market itself was just offering nothing. And so I sent the money back to my partners. But the most important thing to learn is how to value a business. It's also the toughest to explain. You look for certain things that allows you to narrow it down. If I'm a basketball coach, and I see a guy, I'm walking down the campus here, and I see somebody 7 feet tall, I'm interested. Now, he may not be coordinated. We may not be able to keep him in school. He may be robbing, stores at night or something, but he's still the right guy to be looking at. I mean, we can work with this guy. So I am interested in 7-footers, maybe 6'10". And if I see some guy that's 5'3", and he comes up to me, and he's dribbling away, and he's telling me, doing fancy moves, and he says, "Coach," and I said, "I'm your guy." I say, "Yeah, but if you get in there against these 7-footers, I'm not sure he'll be dribbling exactly the same way. I'm going to skip him. He may be a wonderful prospect and all that, but I'm not interested." So I am looking for signals that tell me in investments what height and a few things might tell me if I was a basketball coach. In the end, what I'm going to buy is the business where I feel extremely certain about the competitive advantage, extremely certain about the integrity and ability of the management, and where I think the discounted flow of the cash that business will produce over time makes sense in relation to its current price. You really are looking for a business where you see the future. And that's why we don't get in tech. It isn't that I don't love the computer and think it's doing all kinds of things for society. I just don't know what it's going to look like in terms of who's going to be selling what to whom and at what prices and against whom and all of that sort of thing 10 years from now. Whereas I know that people are going to be chewing Wrigley's chewing gum in 10 years. People sitting in front of a computer chewing gum will not behave way differently than people chewing gum, in this audience as we talk. I mean, there are certain things that won't be affected. Gillette razor blades. 70% of the value worldwide of razors and blades is Gillette. That's after almost 100 years of shaving, and everybody knows what a razor blade does. They all know how to buy the steel. They all know how to sell it through Walmart or whomever. It's 70% of the world. Now, part of that's because men don't like to change as much. Men gets happy with something. He doesn't fool around with it a lot. Women are a little more inclined to experiment. But, for $25 a year, something you do every day, what better is the world going to offer you? 70%, just think of that. Coca-Cola, 19 billion cases of Coke products sold a year. Everybody in the world drinking it. Will that change dramatically in the next 10 years? I bet my life against that. We sell See's candy in California. There's 35 million people in California. But here they are, 35 million people. Everybody in California has something in their mind about See's candy. What candies are in your mind? Number one candy bar is Snickers. Number one candy bar 10 years ago was Snickers. Number one candy bar 20 years ago was Snickers. People don't fool around. In the end, what I'm going to buy is the business where I feel extremely certain about the competitive advantage, extremely certain about the integrity and ability of the management, and where I think the discounted flow of the cash that business will produce over time makes sense in relation to its current price. You really are looking for a business where you see the future.